Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday evening. It is time for some Wildcard gameplay. I am Meanie Beanie Mabs because I wear a beanie professionally. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about Wildcard and the whole purpose of this gameplay stream session is to talk about the basics, the very, very basics of Wildcard. So we're going to go through everything. What is a Nemot? What is a spell? What the heck is a Wildcard? What is an NFT? We're gonna try to cover really the beginner basic experience, and then if we have some time, we're gonna play some games. And I see that Frozen Fire is already in the chat. How's it going, Frozen Fire? It's great to see you. I see that you're ready to play and you got some decks ready, so stick around. I think we're going to do some gameplay. But before we go too far, I have a special guest on the stream tonight. Oh, we got Rook. How's it going, Rook? So I have a special guest on the stream tonight. Our good friend, Sarah. Community Sarah. So you guys might recognize her from Discord. She's kind of like the community rock star in Discord. She's the person that is always gabbing, always chatting, always challenging people. Always talking weird stuff about cards like Cat Fee recently, I've noticed. How's it going? How is it going, Sarah?
Hey. Well, I'm trying to get away from the fact I think you just basically called me basic.
Did I do that?
Well, beginner, basic.
It's the psychology. I'm like needling you, I'm trying to break you down, because if we have to play against each other later, I want to make sure that I have like psychological dominion over you. So
hey Mabs, who do you think's playing who here? Who do you think's actually a guru at the game? I'm actually just playing you all. I'm going to start taking bets on this, in about a month's time. I'm just luring you all into a false sense of security.
Well, I'm extremely lureable. That's the good thing about me, is I'm extremely susceptible and lureable as a person. If you get to know me, that's who I am. We have Dave, the dude abides in Canada, who says free cat fee.
We love you, Dave.
Hey, Dave. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. We also have Rook, our man Rook, who's also in the chat. And Rook says, so is today a debate of pro and con cat fee? I think we're going to discuss that a little bit. I think we're kind of going to get everybody up to speed on the cat fee situation, because it has evolved a little bit since we last talked about it during the dev stream last Tuesday evening. We have Imagination Creates Reality in the chat. How's it going? Nice to see you. And Frozen Fire says, hey, Mabs and Sarah.
Hey, Frozen Fire. Game later. Hey, after these tips from Mabs.
All right. So, Sarah, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I see that you're not showing your face, but you are showing your colors. You have like a cat fee instead of your face there. What's going on with that?
I'm just showing a bit of solidarity, really. I might show my face in about 3 weeks' time. It depends on if I manage to get you into Team Catfee or not.
Well, I want to say right now that I am not Team Catfee. There's nothing, I cannot be convinced. You cannot twist my arm. I am anti-Catfee. I am about as anti-Catfee as it gets. During the dev stream. So if you're just joining us and you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, first of all, I'm going to ask you, there's a scroller at the bottom of the screen there. You have to join us on Discord, because Discord is where all the memes happen. It's where all the fun happens. It's where you can hang out with us, the Wildcard team. And it is where you can learn more about Wildcard, the upcoming play-to-earn game. It is also where we've been talking about Cat Fee since last Tuesday. So I'm not going to say I had a meltdown, Sarah, during the dev stream, but maybe a little bit of a meltdown, right?
You kind of went a little bit mad, Mabs.
A little bit. Yeah, I did.
I'm going to actually buy you a really cool present and send it up there.
Oh, is that right?
My friend embroiders cats.
I don't want. I hope it gets confiscated at the border. Let's just put it that way. I don't want any cats. I'm allergic to cats. I mean, that's, if there's a reason I hate cat feed, it's because I'm allergic to cats. So that's reason number one. Reason number 2, Catfee is officially, I'm going to just pop it on Catfee on screen here so everybody knows what we're talking about. Here we go, Sarah. Here is Catfee, the famous card. So this Catfee is a card in Wildcard right now. So it is a 2-mana card, a 3/1. But when you play it, if there are other Nemots on the board, Catfee loses attack. He just becomes, he's already kind of useless, but he becomes more and more and more useless as time moves forward. So I'm lobbying right now, and I hope you guys in chat will support me. I hope everyone that's watching right now and everybody in Discord, anybody involved in Wildcard will get behind me and back me in my campaign to get Catfee out of the game. We need this guy out of here. I don't want to see him anymore. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I get triggered and I go on tilt every time that I see him. So,
but you've not even got up a petition, Mabs. I've got a petition up. I have supporters. I've got merchandise at the ready. You know, I mean, look at the poll in Discord.
That's right.
Catfee is clearly winning. Look at the conversation. Look at the comments. Catfee is winning there.
Yeah. So
I mean, Guardia won Maps. Look, even Derek didn't turn up to support Catfee.
Well, one of the just one quick minute. So one of the things that kind of went down in Discord after the dev stream is people started memeing on Catfee. So the audience was, the community was divided a little bit at first. I thought I had some support from our community members, but it looks like there was more support. And you yourself, Sarah, you admittedly are a pro Catfee person, right? Am I correct here?
Always Catfee.
Okay. Excellent. So you're clearly Team Catfee. Your logo says it. And more people in Discord kind of started rallying around Catfee for whatever reason, where we see now merch. We see merch suggestions. We see memes coming out. And you started a petition to save Catfee?
Yeah, of course. Not that I think that we need to. I just kind of think it was a cool thing to do.
You thought it was a cool thing to do? Well, how many, let me ask you, let me kind of put you on the spot here, Sarah. How many signatures does your petition for Catfee, to keep Catfee, have? How many signatures?
I'd say at least 20,000.
20,000 signatures. Wow. That's a lot of support. I mean, that's kind of an uphill battle for me, it looks like. Okay. So
I lied. 3.
but clearly there is a lot of support for Catfee out there. But there's another phenomena that kind of has emerged in our Discord. So we have teams now, right? We have Team Catfee on one side.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have another team that's kind of emerging as an anti-Catfee team. Am I correct here?
Yeah, that's Jasper's fault.
Jasper.
We blame Jasper for that, but Jasper's asleep right now, so we can't harangue him, unfortunately. Okay. He's got Fishlight, and K-bombing is for Fishlight. I think David, I think a few other people, but not as many as for Catfee.
All right. So now this is coming into like a multi-factional conflict. We have Team Catfee on one side. We have me, that I'm kind of like, I'm just an anarchist. I'm not a patriot to any belief. So I just want Catfee gone, and I'll ally with whoever will help me in this quest.
Frozen Tire, I'm seeing you in the comments. Do not go over to Fishlight. You're with Catfee.
Oh, there you go. So, and then we have another faction, the punk rock faction, if you will. We have all the lame people that are getting behind Catfee, all the old maids, all of the homebodies, all of the all of the losers, frankly, who are pro Catfee. And then we have the punk rock guitar solo people, with the cool mohawks and the mods, who are now pro Fishlight, So
right. Sorry, audience, did you hear that? Basic, old maid, homebody, beginner. Look at the abuse I'm getting. You need to go onto Discord right now and get some memes going against Meanie Beanie.
Yeah. Try your best. How about that? Try your best. I'll even do like a Dylan face if you want.
Yeah, but you need the video to stop for a bit.
Yeah, my video won't stop. So the stream is running from my end. So that I mean, if that happens, I'm in deep trouble. So, but meme away, meme your heart out, people. Okay,
Oh, you're
you
for it
you
now,
can meme
Maps.
all day, you can meme all night, but I swear to you, Catfee will be out of the game
No,
soon.
Rook, we're not saving his hair. He made a verbal contract.
Rook says, I abstain from this cat fee debate. I more support saving player one's hair. This is another petition. We have a lot of causes going on in Discord right now because, by the way, you need to like, subscribe, share, follow, do all of the social media things. You've been on the internet long enough. I don't need to tell you what to do. You know already. But we have another petition because when our YouTube channel reaches 100 subscribers, the 100 subscriber milestone, player one is going to get his head bicked. I mean, we're talking clean. We're talking Mr. Clean. Once we get to 500 subscribers on YouTube, I will do a head reveal. I will show the audience what is under this beanie. So, I mean, some have seen it, and I can tell you they were impressed. So,
It's
we're sa-
glorious.
we're saving that for 500 subscribers. And at 1,000 subscribers, I think we are doing a team hot tub stream. I think that's what I'm going to call it. I think everyone on the team that's on camera, that is a face on in this wildcard community, is going to individually have a little kiddie pool in their living room or something, fill it up with water, and we're all going to be in a hot tub streaming. So if we can get there, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, that's what we're going to do. Is that a deal? Doesn't that sound like a good deal right there?
I'm just visualizing it right now.
Hey, we're going to talk about metas tonight and the game meta, but that is, I think that's a great incentive. That's a great
I
incentive.
just need you to teach me how to beat Jasper. I mean, and Maury, because like Maury, I cannot believe I chose my first real live person game against Maury and then Karai. And where's Karai? Where are you, Karai?
Yeah, Karai, the number one player. I mean, we now have an ELO system, so I don't know if Karai, how long he can hold on to that title as the number one player in the wildcard community. Do you offhand? Do you know? Have you seen the latest ELO rankings? Let me check real quick here in our Discord, our beautiful Discord community.
I'm gonna have to play you maps after this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to play, I mean, we should try a game. I would like us to maybe try to build a deck together, and maybe we can play on stream right now. Not right now, but after we talk about Wildcard a little bit.
No, that sounds good. I will casually lose.
But you've had okay. Here we go. So we do have power rankings here, and I will show my Discord very, very briefly. I don't want you guys to see all the UFO servers I'm in, but the power rankings right now are Maury is number one, followed by Derek, the creator of Wildcard. He's number two. I mean,
I'm raising my hands here behind the cat.
That's right, the creator, and I'm number three. I am number three. So, and followed by player one and Frozen Fire. But I believe if Frozen Fire has anything to say about it, he's not going to let that stand. I think he's gonna do his best to work his way up in the ELO rankings. But stick around.
And I'm so bad, I'm not even on there.
I mean, you've just really started. Let's not lie. How long ago did you start playing, Sarah?
About 4 weeks, but the AI was, not as challenging as a real person.
No, definitely not. The AI can sometimes be like Skynet, where it's orbital bombing you from across the planet, and sometimes it's like a bumbling fool. So the AI is uneven and kind of acts in different ways depending on the situation. So no, these rankings are not for beating the AI. They are they are for beating other players. So you have to play other players, Sarah. That's how you start ranking.
Damn it. I knew I should have done something.
So Vera Bobo says, I have to figure out how to install this game. Well, right now it is limited access. It is in pre-alpha. So What I would recommend, if you do want to eventually get access to Wildcard and play the game with us, either on stream or in our community, come into sign up to our Discord. The thing you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen there, sign up to Discord, and that's where you'll get the latest news on Wildcard and where you can find out if there are any opportunities to play the game in the futures. Frozen Fire says 99% of my decks are for bug purposes only, and I kind of believe it, because if you look on our Discord server, we have a section for bug reporting. And essentially, it's just Frozen Fire, like just Frozen Fire, Frozen Fire, Frozen Fire. He is the bug reporter extraordinaire, and the developers, I think, are very thankful for that. We have some great people in our community, Sarah.
We do, especially the ones that like Catfee.
I mean, we're not. I mean, we do have Catfee. We have you that is branded, and somehow this stream got this stream got branded with Catfee. So I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of Catfee. I feel like I'm kind of a paratrooper that is surrounded on all sides behind enemy lines right now. That's a little bit how I feel. I feel like I'm alone against the mob. So, but I can take it. I have no problem with that. Vera Bobo says, "Okay, I'll get my Discord figured out first. Thanks for the tip." Yep, Discord is the place to go.
Vera, just message us on TG if you need help with Discord, and myself or Mabs or any of the others, Sean Dinger, will help you out with getting onto Discord.
All right. So what I would like to do today, Sarah, as we discussed, I want us to talk about the basics. So I'm not calling you basic. I'm not calling anyone basic. I'm talking about the basics of Wildcard, of the game. So I think one of the things, like, when we play, one thing that I've noticed is that the people that play on stream are fairly familiar. Like, even the people in our community, they seem to be kind of savvy already with these card games. But I wanted to create something, do a little stream where we cover some really, really basic topics, and we kind of talk through, you and I, everything Wildcard. What do you think about that?
That would be awesome, because this is the first card game I've ever played, and I think I was around when beep bop, beep bop. Do you even know?
What's beep bop? Is that like GTA 3 or something?
No, what is it? Atari, the tennis game.
Yeah. Pong.
So much has changed in a few decades, but I'm not really a gamer, so this is totally new to me. So any advice would be much appreciated. Excellent.
Well, let's talk about it. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about, and I do have some notes here. So I got some screenshots ready for you. And Sarah, I want you to stop me if there's anything that you don't understand or that you don't know, and I might ask you some questions. You don't need to have all
the prize at the end of the
yes, you get a prize. You get. I mean, you have the honor of being on stream.
Hey, anything for you, dear.
That's it. That's Frozen Fire asks, "Wow, Sarah, you never played poker or Go Fish or something?" That's a good question.
No, I haven't. I played Solitaire and Backgammon.
All right. Well, that's kind of those are kind of card games. I love Backgammon. We got to play Backgammon one of these days. There's a bunch of games.
So playing you. Yeah, I will thrash you.
Yeah. No, I'm a pretty good Backgammon player. But let's talk about Wildcard. Let's talk about Wildcard. All right. So let's start really with the beginning, with the absolute basics. So what is Wildcard? So Sarah, what is Wildcard?
It's a game.
It is indeed a game. What about you guys in the chat?
It's a strategic game. It's a card game. I just remember, I just watch you guys when you say stuff, and I ferret it away, and it's like some other famous card games that I don't even know if I'm allowed to say right now. Okay.
Well, let's. Vera Bobo said we got some Backgammon fans in the stream, so
nice.
Yeah, we might derail into Backgammon if we're not careful. But Wildcard, what is Wildcard? So Wildcard is a play to earn game. So it is a play to earn game that we are working on, that is going to be part of the Phantasma chain. So we're using the Phantasma chain. What does play to earn mean? It means that this is a game where you will be able to actually earn value. You'll be able to earn by playing this game. There's going to be NFTs concerned, but now today I don't want to talk too much about the blockchain and NFT portion of this. I really want to talk about the game itself.
Please,
but
because my
fundamentally,
brain can't handle blockchain and NFTs.
that's right.
That will be another lesson, please, Mabs.
And Dave, who's a great member of our team, he says it's in the category of battle card games. That's right. So there are other battle card games that are similar. Magic the Gathering being one, Hearthstone being a hugely popular one, and Wildcard, the game that we're planning. So essentially, two players, either a real player versus AI or player versus player, they build a deck from an available pool of cards that feature creatures, aka Nemots in this case, and spells, and they battle it out head to head. So it is a game where cards are used to manifest creatures, to manifest spells, and try to beat you try to beat your opponent with these spells and Nemots that you've summoned. Frozen Fire says Pokemon is similar also. That's true. I was never really a Pokemon guy, so I'm not too sure.
So are we going to look at the decks, Mabs? Because the thing that confuses me, I mean, I was asking questions, where it said 5 out of 10. I couldn't work out for the life of me what that meant, because I was literally learning how to play this just by watching you guys, and it didn't work out very well for me.
Well, we're gonna yeah, absolutely. We're gonna talk about decks, and we're gonna talk about more fundamental stuff. So moving on. So we're okay on what Wildcard is, right? We understand that it's a battle card game. I like that, Dave, by the way, in the chat. So kudos on that. I do like that. All right. So the objective of the game. So I have a screenshot here ready of a typical Wildcard game. So this screenshot is essentially a game that is happening. A game, it's two players playing against each other. At the bottom here, we see these are the cards. This is your hand of cards that you have available. Each player starts with a 6-card hand, and in turn, they have to play cards to bring out creatures and use spells to bring their opponent's HP or life to 0. So here, the crystals that you see on the edge of the board, that is the life. That is you, essentially, the player. This is how, if you want to know how you're represented in this game as the player, it's through these crystals. So here on the right, usually this is where the opponent is, or in this case, the AI. If you can see in this screenshot, I have on the left 16 HP or 16 life, and the opponent has 11. So the objective of the game is to get your opponent's life to 0. That's when you've beaten your opponent. That's pretty clear so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Any questions or comments from you?
No, that makes sense.
Wonderful. So what exactly is, so we talked about two we talked about two categories of cards that we're dealing with. We have 1, Nemots, and then 2, we have spells. So let's look at excuse me, let me look at my notes real quick. So let's look at Nemots. So we got this stupid Nemot over here. So the wild card happens essentially in a mall. It happens, there's some kind of an event that happened. We're not going to get too much into the lore of everything, but hey, Alex, how's it going?
Alex.
How's it going? So this whole game, Wildcard, happens in a mall. So something happens, which is part of the lore of the game. I don't want to give too much away because we're going to be releasing a lot of lore information soon enough. But essentially, this happens in a mall, and you can see actually, if I go back to my old screenshot, the battle when two players are battling, incarnating these crystals, they are actually in a mall. This is like the second floor. You can see like Sears in the Bay or something, or whatever the American equivalent is. And all the battles, all the backgrounds that you will see in Wildcard are going to be essentially represented in a mall. So you get
So
different
will they
parts of a
be in
mall.
different rooms, different parts of the mall map? So like, would you have some like in the restaurants, and then some in different, just, like there are going to be different locations with different levels?
Absolutely. So we already had one, which is it's like the what do you call like a main area of a mall where we have like escalators going in different directions? It's like an open area. You know what I'm
I
talking
know what
about?
you mean, but I can't think of what it's
Chat, can you
called.
help me out?
Concourse? Is it
I'm
like the
French Canadian.
concourse?
It's a there's a special word for it, but you guys know what I'm saying. Usually malls have like a central kind of different hallways go out of. So the Frozen Fire says the food court. Yeah, usually the food court is in that area. But the first background that we saw, and I don't have a picture of it now, but was one of these open areas with escalators and plants and stuff like that, and probably a food court right next door. This, what we see on screen right now, it looks like it's a little bit it's maybe one or two floors higher, where we're in the maybe the male section on the right and the female section on the left. This is more where we will be shopping for clothing in the mall.
Okay.
So I think every background that we're going to see is going to be a different part of the mall. So essentially this is where the game happens. It's at the mall.
That's cool. I just noticed that Vera Bobo mentioned Kitty. Vera, you need to come over to Discord so you can come and be Team Catfee, okay?
Nope. So we have enough Team Catfee in Discord.
I'm just recruiting from your very own show, Maps.
I know. I'm trying to teach a wild card, and you're radicalizing our audience towards Catfee. You're gonna turn our Discord into a bunch of Catfee radicals. I cannot let this happen.
Invite me again, guys. Honestly.
You've just added a reason why this card, Catfee, ladies and gentlemen, Catfee needs to be eliminated from the game. So, Derek, if you're out there and you're listening to me, I hope you're listening. Now it's getting dangerous. People are getting radicalized by this card. So we have to take this seriously.
Hey, I'm bringing people to Wildcard. The love of a cat.
Javi Rio says, can't wait to try it out. Absolutely. Join us in Discord. Check out the scroll at the bottom of the screen. If you want to know more about Wildcard and how you can play this game, this is the way to do it. But moving on. So what is that? Oh, we were talking about what an emote is. So
yeah,
an emote is a creature in this game, right? So we have two, right, for the time being. And by the way, a lot of this information may change at some point, but for the time being, we have two types of cards in the game. Essentially, we have Nemots, which are creature cards, and we have spells. So Nemots, this is how they're composed. So of course we have this ugly mug of artwork here. In the case of Catfee, other cards are extremely good looking and beautiful, unlike this one. The blue that we see here in the top is mana cost. This is how much the card costs to put it into play.
So is that little blue line before that? Okay, right. Okay, I'm getting it now, because I was wondering why. I was trying to move some cards up, and I thought my computer was broken.
K-Bombing says, Team Fishlight, wah. Yeah, that's right.
K-Bombing, I thought I liked you, dude.
All right, Frozen Fire says, nope, Derek is Team Catfee. There's a little more with that card. I mean, I don't know. We shall see. We shall see what we shall see. Hey, chat. We're trying to teach the game here. I would appreciate if you would stop derailing us, chat. Okay? I would really.
I think the fashion will fit better there as well, to be honest.
Alrighty. So, So this is the main resource of the game.
I'm listening. Right? I promise.
As the game begins, mana is your resource. Mana is, let's call it the primary resource.
Life, isn't it? Isn't mana a word for life? Okay.
I believe so. And it's also a very common word or term used in
food.
In role playing. Yeah, there is food, but in like role playing games and video games, which is your pool of energy that you tap into to cast spells. Usually in role-playing games, you use your mana or your chi or your inner energy to cast spells. So in this case, in Wildcard, mana is the primary resource. So here, the screenshot that we're looking at now, my mana is pretty far along. I have 5 out of 10 mana.
So how do you get to that mana though, Mabs? Like, do you just come out with 5, or like
You
how
do
does
not.
that happen?
So when you begin the game, you begin with 1 mana, your first turn. 1
So
mana
you have to
only.
be careful about your cards then.
Yeah. So Frozen Fire says mana is always in blue circle. I'm not too sure what you mean. No, mana is for the cards. Life is under your diamond. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure who. So, but this is our life right here that I'm
Yeah.
pointing to, and the mana's here over here. So, your first turn, Sarah, you will start with 1 mana only. So, meaning, if you're going to play a card, and you see here in the deck that we have on screen, I have a card here that says level 2 buff. I have a card
Mhm.
here called Burger Dog, which is another Nemot. It costs 1 mana. So on my first turn, I would be able to cast bring out a Burger Dog Nemot because I have 1 mana, and this card costs 1 mana to play.
So would you bring out the Burger Dog, or would you bring out the spell, or bringing out the spell does nothing right now?
Well, right now the spell would do nothing, but we'll get into that later and kind of talk about strategy and how, which card should you bring out first. But,
Okay.
the important thing to understand is that each card has a mana cost that you see here in the top left of the card, and your resource mana is what you use to cast that card.
Understood.
So, as we said, first turn you start with 1 mana. Then on your second turn you get a second mana point, so then you have 2 mana, and then so on and so forth. If during your turn you play a card like that costs 3 mana, it takes away that resource until the end of that turn. But then when your next turn comes up and you get a mana added, it goes back to the full potential of your mana, right? So each turn you're able to spend all of your mana, and then on the following turn you get it all back, and then you kind of start fresh each turn with 1 mana added, of course.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So what else did I want to play? So I don't have a spell card, but let's look at this screenshot again. So, or actually, let's look at the game. Let's look at the game, folks. So, actually, we're not quite done with Nemots. I do want to say, so this is the cost of Nemots here that you see in the top left. So here at the bottom, do you see there's a 3 and a 1? 3 with a couple of swords next to it, and a 1 with a shield next to it. Do you see those, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your attack, and this is your life. So each Nemot has a certain amount of attack, so a certain amount of damage it can do, and it has a certain amount of life. So see, Frozen Fire says, explain attack and defense. There you go. I got you, Frozen Fire. So each Nemot comes with attack and defense, and it will vary from Nemot to Nemot for whatever reason. So 3 attack means here, actually in this screenshot, you can see I have a Farabbit, and do you remember the name of this one?
Oh, is that the I keep wanting to say llama, but it's not. It's alpaca.
Albaca Paca. Absolutely. Yes. So Albaca Paca. So see, the Albaca Paca here has 5 attack and 4 life. So, and the Farabbit has 3 attack and 2 life.
So does that mean it can attack 5 times, or it can attack a Nemot, an opposing Nemot that has 5?
Well,
how does that?
It means that whenever this card, either of these Nemots attack, and say they do damage to another Nemot or to the player crystal, 5 is the amount of damage that they will do.
So it could wipe. So how would that work when 2 of them are equal, when you have 2 Albaca Pacas?
Well, good question. We do have 2 Albaca Pacas that are not quite equal, but let's say for argument's sake that both of these Albacacas on screen, let's say that both of these had equal mana, equal attack and life. Let's say they had 5 equally. Well, they would essentially attack each other and both kill each other.
Oh,
Because
okay.
as I attack with this Nemot and I attack this one, it would, my 5 attack would go over its 4 life. So effectively, I'm killing that Nemot.
So
But
they
also,
cancel out type thing if they're the same.
yes. So, and also, when I am attacking, this Nemot has a right of retaliation. So as I'm attacking here, this simultaneously, the Nemot I'm attacking is retaliating and also attacking with 5 points of attack. So because my Nemot only has 4 life in this case, it dies, and the Nemot that I attack dies as well. So they would essentially kill each other. Say this Nemot here on the right was not in the way, right? And let's say I had a clear path to the enemy crystal and the enemy's HP pool over here. I would simply do 5 points of damage to the enemy, to his overall HP. So the enemy here, the crystal, does not have any attack to it. It only has life. Does that make sense?
No, it does, yeah.
Okay. All right. How did that sound, Frozen Fire? How am I doing, Frozen Fire? Am I explaining everything? You guys throw me some critiques in the chat. Let me know if I'm missing anything, because we're really, really, we're boiling it down to the absolute basics here. So far so good, Sarah?
Yeah, this is perfect. I'll have to let Naomi know about this because I'm trying to get her to play as well.
Yes, I actually made a very, very short video today. So Frozen Fire asks, what happens if enemy attacks for rabbits? So that's a good question. Assuming you had no Albaca-Paca. So let's say that this Albaca-Paca attacked my Farabbit over here. So my Farabbit has 3 attack and 2 life. This Albaca-Paca has 5 attack and 4 life. So if this Albaca-Paca were to attack my Farabbit, it would kill the Farabbit. But because this has only 3 attack and this has 4 life, the Albaca-Paca would still be alive.
So this is a teaching game, really, because you're teaching us math.
It is. K-bombing, a man after my own heart, says
K-bombing.
you missed that Catfee is a bum. I agree. Look at this guy. Can we take a moment? Can we take a break from all of this education?
Look at the gorgeous turquoise hue.
I mean,
the little eyes looking up to the sky going, love me, love me.
No.
How can you hate that?
It's horrible. We need to exterminate Catfee with extreme prejudice.
You're just so wrong.
Rook asks a really good question. What about the ZZZ particles that show up when you spawn an Emot? So that is a very, very good question.
What's spawning an Emot mean? What does that mean? I know spawning when it comes to tadpoles, but not when it comes to Nemots.
All right, so let's talk about it. Frozen Fire says, yes, grade school math. Get your kids involved in Wildcard. Why not? I don't think there's an age limit. As far as I know. As far as I could be wrong, but as far as I know, there's no age limit to to play Wildcard eventually. But we'll see. We'll talk about that some other time. But it is a good question. So in some cases, let's say, it is my turn to play. I have 5 mana, and I just played this Albaca-Paca that you see here. Well, some cards, like Albaca-Paca, for example, when you put them on the board by using your mana, right? You bring them into play. They are sleepy, meaning that they can't attack right away. They can't attack. You have to wait 1 turn before they can commit an action. They can still be attacked by your opponent's cards, but they cannot attack for 1 turn. There are cards, however, that are designed specifically around the idea that they can attack on their first turn. As soon as you cast that Nemot and bring him out onto the board, right away you can attack with him. And like for Rabbit, no, not Catfee. Is Catfee a rush card? Yes. Okay, Catfee, yeah, whatever. Let's not talk about Catfee. Let's use another example. Let's talk about for Rabbit. So for Rabbit is a rush card too. So, and Clock Goat, I believe, is a rush card. So we're going to talk about keywords a little bit.
I keep getting killed by Farabbit whenever I play people. That's you,
Farabbits. For Rabbit is a nasty card, but I want to take a moment, Sarah. We have a very special guest that I'd like to welcome into the studio. Boom, Mr. Derek Laporte, creator of Wildcard. How is it going, Derek?
Hey, pretty good. Been listening a little bit. Been learning how to play this game, which is good. I feel like I know more now. I'm more ready to like rise in those ELO rankings from Sean. I'm ready for it. So.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like you need it, because the last time that we played, your deck was just absolutely murderous. It was like it shows that you're gazing into the Matrix, and maybe the Matrix is
Right.
now gazing into you, because
Yeah.
you just came out with this deck that was just out of this world. So
Yeah, well, it's always good as a game designer when the cards that you're introducing that are the new ones are at least like more they're more interesting than the old ones, right? Because that's the goal, right? Is to make better and better stuff as I spend more time doing this. So hopefully we'll land on something really murderous one day. The ideal meta deck that's going to be like wild and crazy.
yeah.
I do want to add a terminology for you guys, which is zero sum. So
zero sum.
Yes. Poker, a lot of these games are called zero sum games, and what that means is basically one winner, one loser kind of thing, or like a winner and several losers. But there's no situation in which it's a tie. There's always someone who wins, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I love these games.
Yeah.
My attitude is that it's not enough for me to win. My opponents need to fail as well.
I fail quite well.
But that's actually a good point, because there's no compromise. There's no white. You know what I mean? There's no armistice there in this game. It's winner take all. And if if you're playing, you play to win this game. There's no ties.
Right.
Excellent. Otherwise,
and you guys are meant to be showing me how to win, by the way. You lulled me onto here telling me that you were bringing me onto here to like show me techniques and how I could beat everyone, and I just get called basic and a homebody.
You missed the first part of the stream. I think Sarah,
basic homebody portion. Yeah.
I wasn't calling you basic and a homebody and losers. It's not you that I was calling that, Sarah, or it's not you only. It's all of the Catfee community. All of you. Any of you who enjoy Catfee, who back Catfee, as far, it's less than zero in my book. So I mean, we will
be having words later, Maps. Words.
Hey,
Sean is the king of Discord and supreme Catfee leader.
That's right. I got to be careful. The admin of Discord, I think, is on Team Catfee. Maybe I got to watch what I say. Rook 982 says no participation trophy. I love that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Winner take all. Killer be killed.
That's a good idea for a card, right? Is like a participation trophy card. It kind of is the Catfee. It's like a 0-1. Doesn't really do much of anything. Just kind of like fills up your hand, like it's a card.
Derek, I used to look up to you, man.
Or it's like a worthless NFT that gets automatically minted when you lose, and it just dumps.
Hey, comments, can you please help me out here? Like they're ganging up against me and Catfee.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna be careful now. The admin of Discord, Sean, down with the Catfee non-believers. So I want to let's declare a truce, okay, for the remainder of this stream. I know you guys are not completely right in the head, you Catfee people, so I don't want to arouse your anger or your revenge. I know that you're not well, so let's have a little truce.
I mean, Catfee does look like it could be one of the. No, this is a compliment. This is a compliment. It's a compliment about Catfee. Catfee kind of looks like it could be like in an off-Broadway production that's a ripoff of Cats called Strays.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Off Broadway, it's not that
Yeah.
bad. That's only
Yeah.
one street in New York, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Catfee tried to make his dreams happen in New York and just didn't make it, and ended up doing Triple X films in
Hey,
Brooklyn.
excuse me. This is the person that was saying let's call a truce, and then both of you just start laying into Catfee.
I'm sorry. This is I have to blame
what
Derek.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I
Sean.
don't know. That's an American word. I don't understand. What's get buffed? Is it rude?
What word?
Get buffed. So basically stronger, right? So there's two terms. There's buffed, which is stronger, and nerfed, which is weaker.
That's right.
Something you might do with in a card game. You do it with a card, but people do it in like pretty much any kind of game. Like FPS is all the time. Like they determine that there's a gun that is more strong than any others, or more stronger than it should be, so they'll nerf it and they'll buff.
Who came up with those terms? Like, because a Nerf gun, all I know is like a Nerf gun, which you kind of like pretend to shoot people.
That's right.
I believe it's based upon that. I think it is
like
based upon that.
A Nerf ball is soft, right? So
Yeah.
to nerf something means to make it less potent or make it less
Oh, well, then
effective.
we've got a buff Catfee. I agree with you, Rook. Come on, Derek. Remember, we're going to send you a case of beer.
Yeah, you guys are arguing in the chat. So, I mean, you guys can have it out amongst yourselves. I've said what I had to say tonight for Catfee. I mean, we are super Catfee branded right now. You guys, I mean, that's fine. You guys are entitled to your opinions, even if they're silly and kind of, whatever, but you guys are entitled to your opinions. So moving on, let's keep talking about, we were talking about Nemots, guys. So Derek, you want to stick around, and we're going to,
I'll stick around. I listened.
Cool. So we're talking again about all the basics. Let's see here.
So can we ever do a competition when this is live and someone can choose their own Nemot?
What do you mean?
Or, like, just say I happen to have a bearded dragon in my house and I really wanted a Nemot with my bearded dragon, and I won 10 games of this against Derek.
Like
a Nemot?
Like a contest, where we would introduce a new Nemot into like the.
Could we ever do something like that further down the line?
So yeah, I want to kind of stay away from the 1/1s, but that being said, I think that you guys will be pleasantly surprised by the number of creatures in this game.
Okay.
We haven't touched on many, right? We've got, so in the deck there's only a handful, right?
Not very many. Not very
many at all. So there are like 53 different animals in the game, and then of course there's combination with the 50, I think 53 or 54 items, but of those 53 animals, and it's one of those things where you're like, if I got to write a list of 50 animals, that's easy to do, right? That's what you think. And you sit down to write a list of 50 animals and you're like, oh my God, this is really, really hard. It's hard to come up with that many animals, right? That would be in a situation like this. So I'm pretty sure I've touched on a lot of the things you guys are gonna want. So it'll be out there in the ecosystem. And then,
all right,
and if you win a tournament, maybe we could, we could say here.
We don't know when, or
maybe something will happen.
But
yeah.
All right, so let's keep talking about Nemots, guys. So with this ugly, stupid card over here, so we've covered the costs of bringing this card into play, right?
Yeah.
2 mana here,
and we've done the battle situation as well.
That's right, and we talked about each Nemot having a certain amount of attack and a certain amount of life. And I must say, I always see a shield, so I always have, my instinct is always to say defense, but but we refer to it as life, right, Derek?
That's what we're calling it. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So in addition to this, each Nemot has a little bit of flavor text that often will describe special abilities, special keywords, or just special different features that the Nemot will have. In this case, with this waste of space card.
Hey, Sean made a really good point though. Did you see his comment in the chat?
What he said.
So
What
we
did
can
he
make
say?
Catfee really cool.
If you made a field card that nullified card abilities, Catfee then becomes a 2-cost 3/1. Not bad. I mean, you guys, this is all you're wasting your breath, honestly, because Catfee is not even going to be in the game. So, I mean, that's yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great
Well,
idea.
what's that saying? He doth protest too much.
All right. So this flavor text, sometimes some Nemots don't really have any special features, right, Derek? It's just there's no keywords or anything.
They're usually at least going to have like a keyword or something.
There's going to be
like
at least
that.
one.
There's going to at least be some. Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen things like rush here. So we talked about this Nemot. As soon as you put it in the field, as soon as you play it, you can attack with it right away. It is not sleepy. It is not dizzy. There are no Z's kind of like flying out of its head. You can attack with it right away. And these are extremely powerful cards, found usually in what we call an aggro deck. And we're going to talk about different strategies and things like that in a little bit. And we're also going to talk about other keywords. Now, let's talk about, mana cost, attack, life, and flavor text with keywords. And of course,
is the keyword rush? Is that
rush.
the keyword?
Rush is the keyword here. Yeah, absolutely. And I think here, Fraidy Cat in the case of Catfee is Catfee's special ability, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that we'll soon see wiped from the face of the earth, if I have to say anything about it.
Someone who doesn't like him, you sure talk about him a lot.
I mean, it's something that's on my mind. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. So let's see. Let's look at real quick at another example here.
What is Clock Goat?
You want to see Clock Goat?
Yeah,
Clock
please.
Goat
It looks pretty cool.
It's another rush card.
Okay.
Let's look at Clock Goat here. All right. So Clock Goat has a mana cost of 3, has an attack of 2, has 3 life, and is a rush card. So as soon as you play Clock Goat, he can attack. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite rush cards that I definitely have in the decks that I play. It's good. I like cards that have high HP like this. There are other cards like for rabbits, and let's see. Does for rabbit still have low HP? Well, he has an HP of 2, so not as low. I think he used to have a life of 1. Yeah. So, but there are other rush cards that have lower life, or just other cards, not necessarily rush, that have lower life. Clock Goat, I feel very confident in bringing him out and starting to hit things, because in the early game, he will survive a lot. You'll be able to maybe use him once or twice. So let's see now. So getting back to this, the next thing. So the other thing that I wanted, or the next thing that I wanted to talk about, was spells. So any questions about Nemots in general? So we just covered how much life they have, their flavor text with keywords, we have their attack, and we have their mana cost, life, attack, flavor text with keywords. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Oh, we got some chat saying that Cake Pig is better. Cake Pig is better.
Cake Bit has killed me a few times, Cake Pig.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a brutal card in the right circumstances, let's say. So let's look at a spell card. So like we said, we have in Wildcard, we have Nemots and we have spell cards. I don't want to give anything away, Derek, but these are the two main categories of cards, right? I can't even... Right there. Okay, perfect.
That's the two main categories.
Excellent. So here, a spell is a little bit simpler. So a spell is not a Nemot that you have out on the board that can play multiple times. A spell is a single-use card that has a certain effect. So in this case, this spell is called See Ya Sucker, which is what we'll be saying to Catfee in not too long. So, like Nemots, though, spells have a mana cost. And in this case, this card costs 4 mana to play. But what happens when you play this card? You can obliterate, aka make disappear, adios, a enemy Nemot from the board. So you pay 4 mana to destroy an enemy Nemot. So
So
this is
can
very
you
powerful.
choose the one you want to destroy, or does it do it randomly?
No, you can choose. However, in the future, it doesn't mean that there might not be some, there may be some spells that are random. Not all spells are the same. This is only one example of a spell. Let's see if we can maybe look at another spell. A very expensive spell right here is Wipeout. One that I have in my deck, and I like to use quite a bit. So Wipeout costs 7 mana. So this is more of a late game card. This is an expensive card to play, but what it does is it'll eradicate all current enemy Nemots on the board. Which I should mention, I don't think I've mentioned, the maximum amount of Nemots that you can have out on the board per side is 5. So you can have 5 creatures out on the board. So with 7 mana, if we kind of do the math a little bit, imagine that you have a couple of Nemots that cost 2, another one that costs 3, another one, couple of others that cost 4. You've spent over 10 mana to get these Nemots on the board, but with the price for the price of 7 mana, you can adios all of those Nemots from the board. So
that's good, especially if you had the frog thingy up there.
The frog thingy.
Yeah, it is my technical name.
I'm French Canadian, so I took that personally for a second there. So often with cards like this, with spells and with other Nemots and their abilities, there is kind of a math there. There's an economy there that you have to kind of keep in mind, and paying 7 mana to eliminate Nemots that must have cost more than 10 to bring out is that's a great price that you're getting there. So that's kind of a little bit of strategy right there. So Nemots and spells. So we're not gonna cover every spell, but the general principle and the important thing to remember is there's 2 categories of cards. There are creatures, aka Nemots, that you play on the board that have different effects: attack, defense, keywords, and then there are spell cards that have essentially that you're casting a spell and have a direct effect on the board. It can be a destructive effect, like we see here. We've seen buffing spells that you can immediately give your Nemot way more attack. There are many different spells that have different effects, and I'll let you guys.
So how would you balance it? I mean, I know would you still have more animals than spells? Like what is a good mix?
Well, let's talk about that actually, because real quick, and we've been streaming for an hour. Are you okay to keep going, Sarah?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm having fun. Thanks.
You're fine. Derek, you're good to keep going? I don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and what about you guys in the chat? Are you good to keep going? I want to be polite. Usually we don't stream for more than an hour in some, but I want to make sure everybody's on board. So we're going to keep talking.
I've got to beat Jasper tomorrow, so I need to know all the things.
You need to know all of that. Okay, cool. So what are different strategies? What are the different strategies that you can employ in Wildcard? Well, one, I think a good way to kind of to illustrate that is with our pre-sale decks. Mm-hmm. So every single pre-sale deck that we have for Wildcard is essentially a different approach to the game. It's a different strategy that you employ. So we have here aggro with Crab Ball as the featured Nemot.
I think K-bombing suits an aggro deck.
I'm sorry?
I think K-bombing suits an aggro
That's right.
deck. Those were too many words in one go.
That's right. And aggro, I mean, in these zero-sum battle card games, aggro often, especially early on in the meta, these are extremely powerful decks. These are decks that, because the point of an aggro deck is you want to bring out as many Nemots early as possible. So, and you want to buff those Nemots as much as possible. And you want to, essentially your strategy is to deliver as much damage to the enemy crystal as fast as possible. And usually it's hard to contend or to deal with this kind of strategy. But the downside of an aggro deck is it is designed and built to be really aggressive early on. So if your opponent manages to survive 5 or 6 turns in, you might run out of gas a little bit, and then your opponent might be able to recover. So often aggro decks is the type of deck where you want to end the game as quickly as possible, within 4 or 5 turns maybe. All right. Then we have a combo deck. So Derek, maybe you can help me. I'm not 100% sure what a combo deck is in this case. Can you maybe
Yeah, so this would be an example would be 2 cards that work well. It could be more than 2 cards, but 2 or like several cards that work well together. And you're basically building your hand up to be able to play these cards in like a combo in one round. So you're like building up, you're waiting for the mana, you're sticking around long enough, and then your goal is to deploy this like killer combination in one round that eliminates your opponents. So like
Excellent.
a really strong combination, basically.
So where an aggro deck, you're kind of just throwing the creatures down usually, and those creatures are just going for the attack. The combo deck tries to build power by combining, a Nemot with a good buff or a good spell type of thing. But really, for the strategy to come together, that combo has to happen, right?
Right.
Cool.
Right.
So does that make sense, Sarah?
I will probably have to watch that again.
Okay, you'll probably have to watch that again. Control. So, and we're here, we're not, it's very abstract, right? We're using the theater of the mind to imagine, but we're talking in kind of the big picture here. We have to kind of just imagine a little bit what this looks like actually in a game. A control deck, if I'm not mistaken, is where usually, and I'm not sure exactly how this will play out in Wildcard, but usually you try to exercise control over the opponent's cards, and you try to control the situation on the board. Am I correct there, Derek?
Yep.
There you go. So you want to try to maybe restrict the movement of your enemy. You want to prevent them from attacking, prevent them from defending. So a control deck, as opposed to an aggro deck, which is focused on doing as much damage as quickly as possible, a control deck wants to just crowd control the situation as much as possible and restrain the movement and actions of your enemy. Moving on to mid-range with Duck Ox. So let's see. To win with this deck, maintain good pressure early while collecting late game Nemots that can wipe the field easily. So here, my understanding is that you have enough to survive against an aggro deck early on. You can, but the strength of your deck is not early. It's a little bit later in the game, right, Derek?
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of a balance, right? It's more of a balance between aggro and control, kind of basically put together, if you will. You get mid-range.
Excellent. And utility. So with Tavilion. So the key to winning with this deck is through blending in other Nemots and spells to it, creating a shocking new unexpected deck. So I'm not too sure exactly what this means, Derek. I don't know. Could you maybe lay it out a little bit for us?
Yeah, so the idea with this one is more about giving players kind of like cards that will it's likely going to be a little more spell heavy so that it goes well with other Nemots that you want to unlock later, things kind of like that. So that's kind of the focus of this. It's still probably, from the get-go, you'll be able to play with it and everything, but of them, it's probably going to be a little less balanced than the others, because the idea is acquiring useful cards that's going to go well with the other Nemots that you'll be unlocking in the game. So
excellent. Yeah. So Sarah, the important thing to remember here, and I hope we're not putting you to sleep, is that there's many different approaches to the game. Many different approaches to the game. And how do you, so you can be an aggressive player with an aggro deck. You can be a control deck where you like to, maintain control over movements in the game. You can be mid-range where your focus is to try to survive early on, kind of squeeze by early on, but then really deploy your power later in the game. And how how do we deal with these different strategies? How do we come up with these different strategies? Well, it's through deck building. Rook asks, when will the 30 card for starter deck end again? Do you know this?
Yeah, so I believe that's in 5 days. The 23rd, I believe, is when the 30 card deck thing ends, if I'm not mistaken.
Boy.
Yeah.
So get on it, folks. Get on it.
Yep.
So I bring this up because this is how's it going, Sarah, by the way? Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay. So I want to talk about something, and Derek, maybe you can correct me here if I'm mistaken or if I'm wrong, but I wanted to talk about let's see. I wanted to talk about the mana curve. So often with these games, you can see, looking at the number of cards that you have and the mana cost of the cards. These are two kind of important factors when you're building a deck. And
so you're taking us from addition and subtraction to graphs now, Mabs. Come on,
yes,
really?
we are.
This is meant to be fun, dude.
Hey, do you guys want to be like meta killers and like monsters in this game, you know,
I'm
or
just
not?
waiting for the equation to come out, you know, let's physics, chemistry, come with it.
I mean, hey, right now we're kind of playing around with metas and we're just starting, but once this game is underway, it's going to become Discord is going to become like a laboratory with everybody like theory crafting in there. So get ready for that. But just to give you an idea, if we look at an aggro deck in general, and we look at the number of cards so where are these cards distributed? You know, like with their mana cost. So an aggro deck, by its nature, you are going to stack your deck with more low cost cards, right? Cards that have a lower mana cost. You will have more of those and fewer cards that cost a lot of mana. Because essentially your strategy is centered here. It's at the beginning of the game, within the first, from turn 1 to turn 3 or 4. That is where you have to win. And that is where you want to focus your deck. You want to have low cost cards that are aggressive. Does that make sense, Derek?
Yeah, that's
cool.
accurate.
Okay. And this is applicable to Wildcard, right? Because this is kind of a general principle of battle card games.
Yeah, you could do this with all your cards in Wildcard too. You could line them up and do this.
Yeah. So a mid-range deck would be, or maybe something that is a little bit more balanced, will have fewer low-cost cards. You know, so you will see fewer low-cost cards. And you need to be able to play in those first turns. But really, all of your meat in your deck, all of your your high value cards, and where most of the strategy are from in the 2 to 4 mana range. Now this doesn't apply oranges to Wildcard. It's just a kind of an abstract principle to show how you have to how you have to look at deck building in general. So aggro decks
has a really good point in the chat, by the way. He's a really top guy, that guy.
He is, absolutely. So aggro deck needs to win quickly, otherwise it gets demolished by opponents' strong, high-cost cards. You need low-cost, aggressive cards like like Catfee. But all right. So Dave, you're banned from. No, I'm just kidding. So but Dave is absolutely correct. I mean, he just kind of spelled out what is the definition of an aggro deck. The distribution of your cards will be very high in the low cost, because you want the game to end as soon as possible. So you want to have as many low cost cards, get them out there and start doing damage. Mid range, you're going to have fewer of these low cost cards, but a little bit, you're going to have more cards in the 2 to 3 to 4 mana range. And then control is also similar to mid-range, but the curve is a little bit more gentle. So control, and I mean, this is just generally, this is not necessarily for Wildcard, but the important thing to remember here is when you're building a deck, this is kind of how you have to think. You have to, when you're building a deck, you have to be think ahead of time. What is my strategy for this deck? What is it that I want this deck to do for me? How do I want the game to play out? These are things that you have to think about when you're deck building. Of course, you can have, a fairly generalist deck that's well balanced, and that can definitely win. But often, players that know how to manage their mana curve and understand, okay, aggro, I need a bunch of low cost cards right up front. Those decks are going to be extremely difficult to beat.
So what decks do you guys prefer?
That's a good question. Derek, do you have a preference on the style of deck?
I have an aggro. The one that I built was kind of an aggro, but it's kind of a strange offshoot of an aggro. It's primarily 2 and 3 mana cost cards. My idea was in some cases, usually most of these one mana cost cards, you can take hits from them. The idea is, don't forget that your player crystal life is like a resource, right? That can be expended. So many people get kind of caught up in the idea of like, oh no, I don't want to lose a health point. Oh no, I don't want to lose a health point, right? But again, it's a resource, right? Like mana is a resource, health is a resource. So in a lot of cases, I'm like, okay, I can take those early hits. That's fine. I'm building up to these 2 mana, 3 mana creatures, and then I have just a bunch of them and just bring them all out one after another. And then some of the spell cards to basically undo guardians, because guardians are kind of huge in this game right now. So using Recall Nemot, one of those used to be called clean slates. What is it? Wipeout. We're using one of the wipeout cards to like eliminate all of the enemy Nemots, and then of course the finisher of all, which is of course the #1 frog.
Yeah.
Who will wipe out somebody completely at the end. Yeah, that's a strong combo right there. There's a good combo, right? So the wipeout and the #1 frog. If you can bring both of those out, then you're probably going to win the game.
I am making notes.
Yeah, #1 frog is essentially my Vietnam. Yeah. I start hearing like helicopter rotors when I see that card come out. So the it's a really I put it in a deck and I started using it, and it's kind of a crazy card. It's expensive, but you do, you need to, this is how you need to approach these games, especially them being so competitive. There's gonna be a meta or like an optimal strategy to play the game. The optimal strategy is going to change with the times as new mechanics or new combinations are discovered. So this is why to be really proficient and good and win at these games, this is the mindset that you need to have. It's that you're playing the game is one thing, but preparing ahead of time and building a deck, choosing a strategy, understanding the meta, figuring out ahead of time, what is it that I'm going for? What is the effect that I want to generate with this deck? These are things that you have to consider.
And what's your favorite deck, Mabs?
I like aggro decks as well.
Go figure.
I like aggro decks as well. In other games, I played aggro decks almost exclusively, and I think it's because when I first started playing Magic the Gathering, I was kind of I didn't play well, and I would not, I just did not play well, and aggro decks taught me that when you can do damage, you need to do damage. You have to, you know what I mean? There's no skipping turns or being nice or, like Magic, I had this weird attitude where, we all need to set up our creatures and our stuff before we start fighting. We need to get all of our kind of like our strategy out there. But no, it's really, the game is about who wins, and it's who gets the opponent's life to 0. And aggro decks, that aggressive kind of posture for the game, I I really like. I think that's a good way to win. I think, and it's usually pretty strong. It sits at the top of the meta usually in these games for a while.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, I mean, so that's kind of a mouthful. So now we're going, Sarah, we're taking you deep. I'm taking you to the middle of the ocean right now. You thought we were going to do the basics, right? But now we're in the middle of the ocean. We're talking about mana curves, and I'm pulling out graphs and statistics and all this stuff. So what's your reaction to this?
Let me think. I'm trying to be polite. No, actually, I quite like math. I'm a science head, so I'm cool with the science behind it and the math behind it. And it's really interesting. Those that pre-sale deck looks fantastic. The artwork is amazing.
It is, absolutely.
So I still have to go back and sort of like rewatch this to understand what Derek said, but that's just me. I'm so new to this that it will just take a couple of explanations to get it. So this is a fantastic idea doing this video, guys.
Well, really, the important thing to remember is kind of, it's more not the details of like, you know, what card, what this, what that. It's really just like what the mindset is. How do you approach this game, and what is it that you have to have kind of going on in your head as you try to get better, you know, because obviously, if you're going to play the game, you don't want to lose all the time. You want to improve, you want to get good. So often it's just a question of mindset and how you look at the game. You know, that's what really makes the difference.
I'm really good at losing right now.
Well, that's good.
It's a special skill I have.
So let's skip ahead. I wanted to talk about some kind of general principles, and maybe then we can get into some gameplay. Because I don't want to bore you to death, Sarah. But generally speaking, these are like Mabs's tips on strategy and mindset. Let's put it that way.
Tip number 1: win.
Well, no, actually, tip number 1 is go for the jugular.
Okay.
Do not win. Play to win. You know, if you have the opportunity to do damage or do something.
Power on.
Oh, sorry, that was my speaker. It was my AI in the background.
So win, go for the jugular, be optimal. Do not let chances go by. One of the important skills that you need to develop is every turn is like a new problem that you have to figure out, right? Okay, I have this much mana. I can cast an emot, or I could cast the spell. And one of the skills that you have to develop is the ability to kind of quickly assess the situation and determine what the best move is. And often, but your priority number 1 in my experience is do damage. Do damage to the enemy crystal early on. You know, if you take out an emot that is able to do damage to the crystal, don't pass that opportunity by. Every point counts, and if you can attack and do damage, go for the jugular. Number 2, talking about being optimal. Every turn, you should try to do your best to spend your mana pool. It's not going to be possible. I mean, maybe it's going to be rarely possible. But one of the things that you want to do, you know, every turn as like maybe a gauge of how good is my deck? Over time you'll get a feeling for this where, you know, am I spending all the mana that I can every turn? And what do you think about that, Derek? Am I off base there?
No, that's good. That's correct.
Yeah. So,
you know, think about it.
Every turn you have a pool of mana. You know, turn number 1, you have 1 mana. So your deck should have, you know, depending on if you're aggro or whatever, you should have options to play ideally at every turn. You should have options for 1 mana, for 2 mana, for 3. And, you know, if you have optimally, and in the best of worlds, if you're able to spend your entire mana resource, your mana pool every turn that you have, then it's going to be tough to beat you because you're using your resource to the fullest potential. Does that make sense, Sarah?
It does, yeah. So cool. You will never accumulate mana mana, you'll just like have one turn, and then you. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to put this.
So
I'll come back to it.
No, I think I understand your question. So
Yeah.
say see it like in this screenshot right here. Let's say it's my turn to play a card. I have 5 mana available to me, right? This turn.
Mhm.
So here, in this case, I already have 2 Nemots out on the board. I could play 1 Clock Goat for 3. I'm not going to touch that. That's a screenshot. And so one Clock Goat, I'm trying to put cards on the board. 1 Clock Goat for 3. I could put 1 Burger Dog for 1. And I could do a level 2 buff for 1. And I will have spent all of my mana in that turn.
Okay. So you couldn't say put a 3 up, leave 2, and then the 2 would go on to the next go. It's just once, if you don't use it, it's gone.
Well, it's not gone, but it's essentially quote unquote wasted. Yeah, it's wasted for that turn. So sometimes, you're not going to be able to spend all of it. Like, it's just going to be impossible that, it's impossible for every single turn to be perfect. But really, if you notice that, every turn you're just not for, over time, you've played like 10 games with this deck and it's not gelling. You're just not spending your mana well. And every turn you always have like 1 or 2 left over. Maybe there's something wrong with your deck and how the cards are distributed through it. That could be that could be a problem. If you find yourself that every game that you play over time, like you play 100 games, and every turn you seem to always have a good solution or something that you can do, and then that means you probably have a really good deck on your hands. It means you always have options. So, as much as possible, as a general principle, you want to spend your mana, So in this turn, I have 5. If I play the Clock Goat, the Burger Dog, and the level 2 buff and attack with that, I will have spent all my 5. And next turn, I will have 6 mana because it adds 1 every turn.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So it's really, big picture. Be good with your resources because your resources are there for you to use. And the best way to use your resources is to prepare. It's to prepare ahead of time with a good deck. So, Dave has a question here, maybe for Derek. So, can you heal the crystal's health points? Some games with control decks use healing cards.
Yeah, so there is a card that does that. The mana for life is the current. I think that's about the only card right now that does it, because there's a lot that damage your health in order. But there is trading resources, and that will be a big thing. Is like, balancing out those resources, trading off. Like, if you've got a lot of life and you've got no mana, then that's a consideration. If you've got a lot of mana and no life, then you might want to trade off if you have the options in your deck.
Absolutely. And he continues, some games with control decks use healing cards to survive aggro attacks until they can play higher cost cards. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Some of these decks that have a mana curve, maybe a little, through the middle or later in their distribution, they need a strategy to survive early on. And if they're dealing with, and maybe it could be a type of Nemot that's cheap, but that's a defender that you can stick in the way, or it might be like a healing card that you cast on yourself and keep your HP afloat to survive that initial onslaught, so that when your mana pool grows and you're the one taking out your cards, then you are the one that's going to win.
Yes.
But great question, Dave. Great question. Great question. Another thing. So on the other side, the yin to the yang here. So yeah, try to use your mana, try to understand your resource and use it whenever possible. But on the other side of things, don't play cards for no reason. There's some, there is the temptation of using all your mana, but then you have to sometimes put the brakes on and try to make sure that you're not wasting cards. Or maybe you have a card and if you have a sense of how this game is going to play out and what you're playing against, maybe it'll be better for you to hold on to a card. Maybe you don't need to put that Nemot out there right away. Maybe it'll be better next turn because as something is building up, you might need that spell or that Nemot 2 cards down. So understand your card and the game flow well enough to, one, be good with your resources, use your mana optimally, but also don't waste cards, have a sense of when you should play cards and not. So Frozen Fire says, save a card that does high damage that is rush for when the field is empty. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have that's a great example. Let's say you have a rush card like a Farabbit that's in the screenshot here. A rush card, oft more, you're going to want to play this card that can attack right away, either to, one, do damage to the enemy crystal, ASAP, or two, maybe get rid of a defender, get him out of there. But, there are if there's multiple defenders, and it doesn't really make sense to play your rush card right away because it's just going to die, and it's not really going to achieve a goal that's interesting. Maybe it's better just to hold on to it for now and wait for a better opportunity to play that card.
Yeah.
So can a rush card defeat a Guardian?
It can.
Okay.
In this case, let's say I had just played.
Even though it's got 3 and 2 there, and the Guardian has 5 and 4, does that matter, or it's?
Well, it does matter, because let's say I play my Let's say I did this right now. I played my Farabbit and I had immediately attacked this Albalka Palka. My Nemot would die for no reason.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So this would be a case where. Rush, the reason you want to play a rush card is because you can play it right away. It can attack immediately. So you want good timing. I guess maybe good timing is maybe a good way to summarize. You want to time your Nemots and your abilities correctly, because in the case that we see on screen, if I had just played my Farabbit and ran him into the Guardian on the other side, I will have killed him probably for no reason. Or if I decide to do nothing, just play him, then I'll have wasted that rush keyword. He won't rush into anything. So be mindful of your cards, and try to also be mindful of the timing of when to play your cards.
See, this game looks so cute and friendly, and it's really actually quite technical and mathy.
It is, actually, and I think it's only going to be more so,
right?
as we move forward.
It's true.
I mean, if this is nerdy and wordy for now, wait, let's talk in 6 months.
Brilliant. The fact that it looks good, and it's also you get to use your brain. That's just a fantastic combo. So.
Yeah, in all of this, the important thing to remember is a lot of what we're talking about is it's not, the details really aren't important. It's really the mindset and how you need to start looking at the game to become good. That's really that's the big takeaway here. The details, Sarah, of down to the mana curve and all this stuff, don't worry about getting too mired in these details. Really, it's just this it's just this attitude. This is the attitude, the way you have to look at the game, the way a gamer will look at this game, and people that will be playing against you in the future. This is how, this is probably how they're going to be thinking. So you have to prepare yourself too. Another tip that that you have to, I think that is important, is you have to be critical of your deck. If the same things keep happening over and over, where there's a key card in your deck that you're just not that is not playing the way that you had strategized it for it to play, or some weird thing that keeps happening over and over again. I don't have a very good example right now, but there's some buffs, for example, that I've taken out of my decks because I just never found a good opportunity to play them. And I kept seeing that situation, this buff. I always finish the game with it in my hand, and I just never found a good opportunity to play it. So usually that's a sign that maybe that buff doesn't belong in your deck. Maybe something else might be better, So be critical of your deck. Be vigilant of things that repeat themselves, situation that keep happening, and dive into your deck and try to improve it as much as possible. You should have, as we said, with the aggro, control, utility, the different styles that you have, you should have a a plan for your deck. You need to have a strategy for it. Generally speaking, your deck should have a strategy ahead of time. But, that doesn't mean once you've built your deck, it's done. You have to play it. It has to prove itself. And if it's not doing well or it has problems, you have to have the presence of mind to be able to go back to your deck and change some things around and fiddle with it.
You sound like you should be a good life coach there, Mabs.
Sure. I mean, I'm life coaching you into becoming a pro wildcard player right now. So this is.
Yeah, I'll be in all the tournaments with Cled. I'll be there.
All right. Another tip that with games like these, we keep talking about the meta. So have you heard that term, Sarah?
I actually have some crypto from Meta something.
Oh, it's not the same thing. So meta usually, it's a term that means like above or like outside of, or it's like a weird referential term. But in gaming, meta, do you remember what it stands for, Derek? It's escaping me now.
Yeah, it's escaping me now what the letters stand for, but the meaning, of course, does not escape us.
No, there's actually a
terminology. Maximum, I don't know.
So this isn't metaverse. This is something else.
Yeah, this is something. This was before that, I guess.
Yeah, it is before. That. That's right. So let's separate the two. So when there's Meta, aka Facebook, that's one thing. And
sorry,
and then there's metaverse, right? The word, which is they're using the word meta. But in gaming, you'll hear gamers say, "What's the meta?" Oh, the meta is aggro decks. The meta is utility decks. The meta is this. The meta is that. The meta is always shifting. What meta means is currently, what is the optimal strategy? What is the number one strategy that is dominating the playing field? So early on, the meta might be aggro decks, right? Because that's what people want to play. That's what a lot of people are going to be playing. But maybe, and then often you have what they call like the flavor of the month. The meta becomes the flavor of the month.
Trend type thing.
Yeah, that's another good word for it. Absolutely. And okay, Rook. Oh, Rook to the rescue. Meta means most effective tactics available.
Yeah.
Most effective tactics available. So in gaming, you're going to see this a lot. You've heard us say meta. This is what we mean. Is currently as we speak right now, what is the most effective way to play this game? What is the best deck available?
I'm glad you explained that, because my eyes would glaze over before. So that's good to know.
Well, there you go. So, the meta is probably early on is going to be aggro decks. That's how it shapes out. But then, as the meta is established, the trend, many people will start playing aggro decks because they hear, oh yeah, the meta is aggro. The meta is aggro. So many people start playing that. But then what you see often in these games is and then because so many people are playing this, then people start developing strategies to beat the meta, to beat aggro decks, for example. And they'll take a utility deck or a control deck that's specifically designed to kill the aggro meta. So that's why in these games, you have this constant shifting of the most effective tactics available. It's the meta is something that is always changing. It's always evolving, especially in these games where you have to build a deck and strategize. And there's a lot of deep math and a lot of deep tactics that are part of the game. So this is what we mean by meta. When gamers talk about meta, they mean the most effective tactics available. So that all this being said, one of the ways to get good, Sarah, is to always stay current on the meta. Know what the meta is. And you know where you can learn about the meta?
In Discord?
Discord, scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. Join us in Discord. This is where we talk about the meta. This is where we talk about that slimy cat feed that I see next to me. This is where we hang out. This is where
you call me slimy now? Jesus.
No, not you. There's another cat fee in the corner there, but I can make him disappear. But Communities is where you'll learn about the meta. That's one of the places. You have to join us in Discord. That's where, as the game evolves, there's going to be theory crafting. There's going to be people playing it, like, tons of people playing it. And the meta, if you want to learn about the meta and stay current on what the latest, most effective tactics are, you have to join us in our community in Discord.
Oh, and the dev chats as well. I mean, when you guys start waffling on to each other, it's quite interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, just stay current. Stay current. So, let's see. And my ultimate get good advice is, number one, learn to enjoy losing. Learn to enjoy losing.
I'm doing that. I've got that.
No,
that's a good one. Yeah, that's actually one of the pillars for us is have fun losing. That is the goal of this game, right? Because if you reach that, then you have made yourself a good game, right? Because
absolutely
50% of people are going to lose, right? Like there's always a loser and a winner. So
Yeah. We
And
wouldn't have a light bulb if we didn't have someone who enjoyed losing.
Well, there you go. And Vera Bobo says you learn from losing, not winning. That's true. Absolutely.
Yeah. Formula 409 too, right? Like 409th try, and they got it. They nailed it.
Absolutely. Fail your way to the
like
top.
A losers chart. I could win at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So set sail for fail, folks, because that's the way to get good. And how do you do that? How do you teach yourself to enjoy losing? Play stronger players. Always challenge the strongest player that you can. Don't settle for easy victories. Don't be a loafer hanging out beside the net waiting for the pass. You want to challenge.
Sorry. I just got a message from Rook with a really cool meme.
Oh, really? Okay. So
you're gonna love it, Maps.
Am I?
Hey,
okay.
Guys, go over to Discord after this and go and see Rook's meme. It's fantastic.
Okay, cool. So join us in Discord. But yeah, to get good, you have to challenge better players. That's really the identify in our community. You're going to see guys like Karai, guys like Mori, guys like Frozen Fire. There's going to be players that are going to just be good at this game. So don't settle for just the easy victories, open net shots. You want to be challenging the best player. I think that's what I do. If I want to get good at a game, I teach myself to enjoy losing, to embrace the pain, and I try to challenge the toughest players possible, because that's the best way to learn. So, guys, I've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes now.
You do like
a lot of strategy here.
I'm just about done. So, I mean, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. Do we want to kind of break away and maybe play some games? We don't have to play Wildcard on stream.
Yeah, you do.
Tonight. You do? You want to play? You want to play a game, Sarah?
I need to play. Come on, I've not seen Derek play for a really long time. Like, we see these mythical things where apparently he's beaten Jasper and all this stuff, but we don't actually see. We've not seen Derek play for quite a few weeks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
You want to play, Derek?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, you want to create or you want me to create?
You create a room. I will. Okay. Hang on, let me.
All right. So, Rook says, "Wasn't there a backgammon fight scheduled?" Man, you guys, don't tempt me. Let's maybe do it. Let's do it in Discord later if you guys want to play some backgammon. So I'm going to create a game. And
okay, sorry, 1 sec.
It's called MBM.
MBM.
I got the music pumped up too, so I got to turn that down.
All right.
It's good. It's good. I enjoy this music.
Yeah.
Oh, Crickle Schondinger says, I need stream matches to update the ranking. So password is 123, Derek.
Okay. I am loading.
All right, chat. Who's going to win?
Obviously, Derek.
I think so too. He has
I don't know. I don't know. I got like I'm trying out some new stuff, so maybe no.
Okay.
I'm only choosing Derek because he's not been so nasty about cat fee.
I mean,
Derek, you need to stick. Be nice.
It is not looking good for Derek. From the get-go here.
Okay.
Looking like several rounds without nothing.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm taking notes here, guys, for when I come up against you.
So one of the things I noticed, Derek, that's really cool that I enjoy is the new sound effects. I really like those. Whenever Nemots are battling each other, whenever they do damage to each other, the
slashy metallic sounds. Yeah. That's added in, and there is like the animation too of the slash, the kind of bluish slash.
So whose deck am I seeing right now in front of me?
This is me. This is my deck.
Oh, that's not very good, is it, really?
This is the Meanie Beanie deck.
Hey, Derek, do you want some tips?
Yeah, give me some tips, please.
Yeah. Discord, I'll send you a screenshot of his cards.
Oh no. Oh no, it's over.
Whoa. That's not good, is it?
All right, that's not good at all. Okay.
No.
All right,
so
let's do another one.
You set the next one. You start the next one, okay?
All right.
That's 2 out of 3, guys. GG, Derek.
Come on, Derek.
GG.
I've got $20 on you.
You got $20 on me? Oh, I didn't know there was money on me. Yeah.
Totally. We're taking bets in the Discord.
Yeah, so I kind of want to chide our audience here. So I want you guys to look me in the eyes right now. I see all of you going for Derek. Hey, what am I, chopped liver? What am I? What am I to you guys? Am I just a clown?
I just want to go like wobble, wobble, wobble on your lip with that face.
All right, the room's ready. Password is 123.
Okay.
Come on, Derek. I feel like I'm at a football show. Well, like soccer, as you say in America.
So while this loads up, Sarah, thank you so much for being on stream tonight. It was really a pleasure to have you. We kind of hammered you with a lot of information. I talked. I'm going to try to make clips now with like different things that I was talking about. But I mean, overall, how did you enjoy sitting down and talking about Wildcard?
Yeah, it was good. No, it was really good. No, I understand a lot more now. So that's really, really helpful. And I'm sure it's going to help out a lot of other people out there as well. That, I own up to being absolutely rubbish at this game. So
yeah, I think it's important
embracing the suck that I am. So
you have to. I think it's really, to get good at games, you just have to. You have to be ready to lose. That's really one of the biggest things. No, it sounds stupid, but it's a major attitude kind of that you need to have.
Oh, I've already had that. I laugh at myself all the time.
Oh, Dave's with me. He's a fellow Canadian. Go Mavs. There you go.
Come on, Dave. Really?
He's a fellow resident of Canada.
I may try again with this, Mavs. It's taking too long here.
Okay.
Something's going on. Let me restart my.
I'll restart as well.
We need to get Vera Bobo on Discord so she can come and play as well.
Yeah, Vera. Why don't you join us on Discord? Where you at? Vera?
She's a Canadian as well.
In Canada too. Lots of Canadians out here.
And English, we're taking over.
Soon. Rook, I have not seen the meme yet. I have not seen the meme yet. Frozen Fire says, I'm usually available to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Sarah. Let me know when you got the game created.
All right, working on it.
I'm going to go look at the meme and see what's going on. That's pretty funny. If you want to laugh along with me, you have to join us in Discord, guys. Join us in Discord. If you're watching right now, of course, you know that you need to like, subscribe, do all the social media things. But you also have to join us in Discord because that's where we hang out.
All right, should be there now.
Of course, the game named Buy $20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go, guys.
All right, all right. Uh-oh,
Boom.
still not looking very good for me.
All right,
Randomness
well,
gets me each round.
is that right?
It appears so.
And I can't do anything either. So maybe
Well,
we're in
look at
similar
that.
circumstances.
Look at that. It's a good sign. It's a good sign suddenly.
I always hate to play my pretzel million like that. It hurts my feelings.
That's
Yeah.
how you say it. I kept calling it pretzel melon. Okay.
And this is Sarah, what I was talking about here. So see this Neemot, when you play him, he buffs all other Neemots, all of my other Neemots that are on the board. So when I say, oh, this hurts, it's because I wish I could play him last. I wish I had other. Whoa!
Oh,
I wish I had other Neemots, but now for rabbits coming right for the jugular. You know, we said if you have the opportunity to do damage, you do damage, and that's.
are we
what,
ever going to have a Neemot that can rush twice?
That's a good question.
Or is that a secret?
No, I mean there is like the double strike keyword in is common in things, so
Yep.
it's likely that we will have that.
It's a thing for sure, Sarah.
If you want me to try it out in my deck first, Derek, I'll gladly do that.
All right.
I mean, yeah, and it is a thing with. Frozen Fire protests. He says, "No, don't. Too powerful." He was panicked. He wasn't even able to type an apostrophe correctly. He was just hammering the keyboard. No, not a double rush, unless it cost a bunch. Oh boy.
I'll come and find you, Vera, and help you join.
Row.
I really like Cake Pig, even though it's killed me a few times.
Did you see Sarah when Derek spawned 2 cake pigs on turn 7?
No.
Yeah.
That was also my Vietnam.
Yeah, it's got some good abilities.
So why is Fishlight sleeping right now then?
Because I just took him out on my turn, so he's still
Okay.
well, and now he's gone. But had he survived, I would have been able to attack next turn.
He would have been able to do some things.
He would have been a champion, I tell you.
Yeah.
He would have got. Oh, what do I do?
Oh. Is this your hand, Derek, that I can see?
No, this
No.
is my hand.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should have said, "Oh," as you can tell, I'd not be very good at poker.
No, if you start going, that. If you do that every time you have like a pair, maybe. But you don't have a poker voice, as they say.
No.
So. How are you guys doing in the chat tonight? Thank you so much for joining us and hanging out. It's so much fun. I'm being serious.
You could say that with a bit more enthusiasm there, Maps.
No, I just saw 2 cake pigs, and did you see my eyes roll back in my head? I suddenly I suddenly started seeing double. Oh boy.
So is there a time limit as well for you to choose a card to go up?
There is. So on your move you have, is it 60 seconds, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah. I ran out of my 60 seconds.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that too. I do that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we do?
Oh, sorry, Babs.
What's happening?
No, I'm looking at your cards. Like,
Ooh.
You're laughing at my cards?
no, I'm looking at your cards and accidentally doing that. Ooh, like that's a good one.
Oh, that's
That sort
right.
of thing. Yeah. I hate Fishlight.
This is a tough
Fishlight should be on
decision.
the board.
This might end badly for me, but it's kind of like a do or die situation here.
Come on, Derek. You got this, my son.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be okay. I think I'll be okay. As long as I don't lose a turn here.
Is it because I think we may have a bug. I have it says turn time left 0. It's still visible,
Yeah,
and there's
I
like
don't have a. I don't have. It's
and
not
there's a
my turn
little
yet.
there's a little clock right above it. Let's give it a second,
Okay.
because my
Maybe.
number 1 frog should be getting adios, right?
Yeah, he should be gone.
So Derek wins by default.
Yeah, I had the most out there. So I had 3 creatures out there before. Or 2 and 1, I guess, once this gets resolved.
I mean, we'll just wait. We'll wait till the Matrix.
We'll just wait. Yeah. It's
The
going to
Matrix-
happen eventually.
I think it does. I've seen Frozen Fire says the turns are 50 seconds. 50 seconds.
That's nice weather we're having right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful weather. So, Sarah, I need to ask you a
now
question.
what, Max?
No, I need to ask you. So,
I'm just now what you're going to say.
No. This is a real question. I mean, what is wrong with you that you like? No, I'm just kidding.
What is wrong with
No, that you like that you like Catfee so much. No, that's my joke question. The real question is kind of, in an abstract way. I know you haven't necessarily played these decks yet, but what kind of deck would you like? Me and Derek are both the aggro type. What kind of strategy more appeals to you? Are you more the aggro type? Do you like to control the action on the board? Are you a late game type of player where you want to survive the early onslaught and then dominate in the late game?
I would look at what my what sort of player my opposition is and choose the deck according to that.
Well, you might not always know. That's with matchmaking in the future, you're kind of just matchmaking. I don't know if this is. I think the Matrix has. It's like Deus Ex Machina here.
Yeah.
Let's. You want to rematch this one?
Let's rematch.
Yeah.
Never underestimate a woman's intuition, Maps. I'll always know what deck you're going to pull out.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, some assumptions might be safe eventually. Like if the meta is aggro decks, and this, that everyone is playing an aggro deck.
Yeah.
You might start floating some control decks out there or some utility decks to kind of counter the meta, and you can do extremely well. If you develop a deck that counters the meta well while the meta is aggro, for example, and you develop this great utility deck that just crushes the meta, you can end up winning a ton. That's why paying attention to the meta is very important, because not only playing the meta because it's the optimal strategy, but playing against the meta.
I'd probably choose like a mixed deck to start off with, just because I'm so new. Just feel around and see what works. I think I bought all of the pre-sale decks. So can you ever mix them up either? Or is it just literally you have like one aggro deck and it stays an aggro deck? Do you know what I mean? You can mix and match.
You can mix and match because they're all like kind of like individual cards that you have basically once everything's up and running.
Okay.
2. All right, I am making a room. Okay.
Frozen Fire is
It's
telling us there's a spot in Discord called feedback.
Yes.
So that's where everyone can report any bugs.
Yeah.
And feedback.
Yeah. There's also bugs. There's a room called bugs.
But this is a
Nope,
pre
here we go.
alpha.
It's very pre. Lots of pre's.
There you go. All the pre's in the world right there. All right.
Uh-oh, he's coming out stronger than previously.
Burger Dog. So for this deck, I haven't really, Sarah, made too much of a strategy. This is like an early deck. So, oh no,
Oh,
so this is
I've not played this one yet.
This is the first time I see this guy. Look at him.
I remember you being a bit funny about turtles on the last stream, Mabs.
To right, yes. He looks cool. I'm gonna waste my turn just looking at this thing. He looks really cool, though. I love the art.
Yeah.
And the colors. Okay. And obviously, do you see, Sarah? This is a flying creature, so I cannot touch this guy. But I can go for the crystal.
So what sort of card is he? Obviously, we know he's aerial.
Aerial card. Can bypass guardians and can't be attacked by Nemots without range or aerial.
Oh, nice. So he can fly over the other 2 Nemots.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Including my guardians.
Yes.
I still need a screenshot of this. Above Derek's name, we've got Catfee.
All right. What to do?
Bye, Vera.
I think I made a mistake there.
Ooh.
Oh, he's not dead. I haven't made a new deck with some of these cards. Bye, Vera. Hooch Moose.
I quite like Hooch Moose.
Me too. As a Canadian, I feel a great sense of compatriotism. All right, what am I going to do?
Oof.
So I use a spell called Seersucker to get a Nemot off the board, so I could attack. Frozen Fire, screaming at the top of his lungs, says, "Mabs, don't forget to report the bug. Mabs, just don't play 2 more games right away." Are you trying to tell me what to do? You're not the boss of me, Frozen Fire. We're not all QA nerds like you are.
Don't listen to him, Frozen Fire.
Yeah, that particular bug I think's been reported before.
Has it?
The one with the
timer,
the frog thing. Yeah, something about moving off the board is some sort of logic issue there.
Gotcha. cling. I'm gonna have to use OBS to stream one of these days. I want to get you guys. I want you guys to hear StreamYard. The app that we use to play right now is not very good with the audio.
You could sing for us, Maps. Get some nice 80s tunes going.
Yeah.
Take on me.
Beep boop beep 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 boop beep beep boop beep beep boop beep beep boop. There you go. You wanted me to sing. You asked for it, Sarah.
That was very good.
Rook says, do you have a card to deal with the Turite in your deck? I do not. I do not.
Oh, 2 for our rabbits. Go get him, Derek.
Just gotta like try and minimize the damage at this point.
Oh. Mabsy.
Aha!
Number
That's
Wang.
it.
Number
Oh.
Wang.
Yep. The classic number 1 frog.
And did he get
Good
punted?
game.
No.
GG.
GG. All right. So, Sean, I hope this satisfies the condition. We had some live gameplay to update the ELO rankings, but that was great. I need to build a new deck with some of those new cards. I'm still playing my old school deck here, so I'm not using half of what I could be using. But
You're
folks,
still
we have
winning.
been. I'm sorry.
You're still winning.
Am I?
Yep.
Yeah.
It depends.
Disappointed in
I
you,
have,
Derek.
I have good nights. And then I have nights when I just get creamed, where you have to scrape me off the highway with a spatula. So that's every dog has his day, as they say, and sometimes they have two. But I want to thank everyone watching us right now. We've been streaming for 2 hours, guys. You guys want to let's call it for the night. This was a healthy gameplay stream. We went through with Sarah. We just talked through for about an hour and a half the mechanics of the game, the basics of the game. What is Wildcard? What are Nemots? Hopefully we can make some clips and it's not just me ranting for an hour. But it's something that I also want to come back to, because as we get new players into the game, I think we need to think of the new player experience, and
Right.
and I think mindset is a big thing. Like it's there's so much to learn, and I think the important thing to remember, there's so much to learn in the games like these, with the meta and the different combinations and everything that you can do. But attitude and mindset is one of the big things that you can adjust, without knowing too much about the games, to immediately get better. Play against good players, embrace losing. That's how you improve, and always be critical and try to understand what happened. If you're losing, try to figure it out why. Rook says, thank you for the stream. Thank you, Rook, for watching. But guys, Derek, you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Yes, goodbye to everyone.
And Sarah, thank you for joining us. Sarah, so this is your inaugural stream. We just hammered you with information tonight. Will you come back and
Yeah,
talk
I'm
to
going
us?
to come back and thrash you.
Oh.
Fighting talk.
Oh. Alrighty then.
In 1 week.
In 1 week, okay. I mean,
One week to come up with the perfect deck.
Hey, I'm going to go
That's
into Discord. We have that special deck place where I can go and eyeball all of your decks.
There you go. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Try to learn as much as you can in the game and just have the winning mindset. Embrace losing and always try to get better. But on behalf of Sarah, Derek, and myself, I want to remind you to join us in Discord. Here's the scroll where you can join us. This is our community where we hang out. We talk about the game. We talk about all sorts of other stuff. We're going to be organizing a lot of community events there, right, Sarah? I think we got some good stuff planned. Maybe a little bit of trivia. Yeah. We definitely have some stuff. But it's, most importantly, it's where you can hang out with me, with Derek, with Sarah, all the Wildcard team. Discord is our home. So come and visit us. We would really appreciate your presence there. But on that note, if there's nothing else, I want to wish everyone a good night, and we will see you in the next one.
Good night, and